Hi, this is Kate from Generate Magic, and today I was reminded once again of how artistic creation is really just the perfect metaphor for reality creation. And so I've been working on this novel and using the book, The 90-Day Novel, kind of as a guide as I'm going about working on my novel. And so one of the things that the writer of the 90-Day Novel keeps talking about is this whole idea of just kind of like free writing, letting your subconscious take over. And he gives you all these exercises and he tells you, yeah, just to kind of write it like stream of consciousness and not to really even be concerned, like if it's going to appear in the final version or not. And for me, that is not something that came naturally. And this is not to say I'm somebody that planned out my stories and novels every down to every last detail, but at the same time, if I sat down to write something, it was kind of with the intention that, yeah, whatever I'm writing, I plan for it to be in the final version, even if I end up deleting it later. And so, yeah, so this is all very new to me, but the more that I do it, the more I've started to kind of get into that rhythm. And the more it's just starting to feel natural to me. And now I'm starting to really just have fun with the process and enjoy it and really just trust that no matter what I write, it's either going to directly or indirectly influence the final piece somehow. And so yeah, so I think this is the perfect metaphor for reality creation, right? And that we have that desire and we plant the seed and then we set our intention. And then, yeah, and then we just trust that it's all unfolding perfectly and we don't try to control every aspect of the process. And yeah, and sometimes I think it's natural to kind of look out at what's happening and maybe you get discouraged or get frustrated or impatient because it's not really happening as quickly as you think it should, or it's not happening the way that you think that it should. But again, it's just about trusting and just about enjoying the process. And I was actually reminded today too, and this is this whole idea that Tom and Be Something Wonderful often talks about, or has been talking about later at least, is kind of reframing this whole idea of the messy middle. And instead of calling it the messy middle, he says, why not call it divine middle? Right? Because there is something divine and there is something mysterious about this whole unfolding. And that's really where all of the beauty and all of the magic and all of the fun takes place. And the same thing when we're working on a novel or any sort of artistic creation. And because the whole process is really divine and the whole process is magical. It's not just like you think of something and then out comes the finished product. And it really is kind of a matter of enjoying the whole journey that's unfolding. And there's another quote that I want to share with you from this book, The 90-Day Novel. And it is, our idea is a limited version of reality that carries with it all our subconscious baggage and preoccupations. When the smoke clears, we are left with the true nature of the situation. And so what he's talking about here is that when he's talking about our characters, right, and our characters' desires, and sometimes a character wants something, but but there's usually something deeper underneath what they think they want, or there's some sort of misunderstanding, right? And so the example that he gives in the book is, say your hero goes out on a date and then they feel rejected by the person because the person isn't showing them mutual interest, and they think that there's something wrong with them. And so but then later on they find out that that other person is actually married. And so that would be kind of like one example, right, of how at any given time we're not seeing the whole picture. And once again, this kind of reminds me of the whole process of reality creation and the whole process of unfolding, and that at any given moment we're never seeing the whole picture, and often we're judging things prematurely, right? And especially when we kind of get into that period of being frustrated, being impatient, thinking that whatever we're experiencing is the opposite of whatever it is that we want. And so the idea that came to me is, if you're working on a painting or working on a novel, right, it would be kind of like looking at the first draft of that work, right? It would be looking at a sketch of the painting, or it would be looking, yeah, like at the first draft of the novel and saying, like, this is really ugly, this is really terrible. And yeah, just kind of judging it prematurely and not even being aware of the masterpiece that's unfolding. And so just remembering that at any given time that we can only see a very tiny fragment of the whole picture, and just really trusting the process of unfolding, and trusting, that we're trusting where we're headed, number one, but then also just enjoying the process along the way, I think, is the second essential point. And sometimes those tangents, that can be where the true magic is, where the true treasure is. And so with that, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.